G'day there guys, welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Arsehole? Hope you enjoy. Am I the arsehole for putting over 100 cockroaches in my parents' bed? I'm 16 female, so I live with my parents. I started having asthma symptoms a couple years ago, but only when I was trying to sleep. I would be unable to breathe. I've been brought to all sorts of specialists and put on various allergy drugs because the best they could tell us was that it must be an allergy. Around the same time that started, I began seeing an occasional cockroach in my room. I would squish it and throw it out, and then the air coming from the vent started smelling musty, and I would see more and more cockroaches. I told my parents all of this, and they are convinced there's not a cockroach problem. I've been seeing about 15 to 20 cockroaches in my room, any time of the day and night, every day for months. My parents keep telling me that I'm being dramatic. It's just an occasional cockroach. I've done some research, and supposedly cockroaches can cause respiratory problems. My parents refuse to call a bug exterminator person. I'm really tired of living with these things. I can hear them crawling in the walls of my room. They're in my bed. I feel them crawl on me when I'm trying to go to sleep, and no, I don't eat in my room. I used to have a bowl of soup in my room if I was sick at home, but I stopped because of the cockroaches since I don't want to attract them. I started taking a photo of everyone I killed and sending the picture to my parents. So again, 15 to 20 pictures a day. They got pissed that I'm bothering them at work and that I'm sending a photo of the same dead cockroach over and over. Like, literally they were going to ground me over winter break if I kept doing it. So instead, over this past week, I've began keeping the dead ones in a bag to mark with the date and then the number of cockroach it was. There was 118 of them over 7 days. I dumped all the little bags on my parents' bed, so the actual dead cockroaches didn't touch their bed, just the bags. My parents are livid. They are arguing about what to do about me. Like, I can hear them. And in the meantime, I've been sent to my room. I just really don't know how to get across how uncomfortable I am constantly. These things are alive when they're in my bed. I really don't know how else to make them see this as a problem, but this might have been the nuclear option, and I could have just shown them the bags in my room. Am I the asshole? Now in the comments, tell a teacher and show them the photos so they can call DCF. That'll surely make your parents take some action, not the asshole. It's time to get a trusted adult involved. Cockroaches can be harmful for your health. They're especially bad for asthma. OP, you don't want to get sick just because of your parents' refusal to get an exterminator. Having cockroaches crawling all over a child at night and the parents doing nothing about it is a clear sign of child neglect and endangerment. This isn't some minor issue, it is very serious. My mother has an extreme aversion to roaches after growing up in poverty, with roaches crawling all over her and her siblings. I grew up with roaches, and my parents roach-bombing the trailer until we were free from them. It's effing awful growing up with roaches. Well, this just gave me nightmares. Thanks, OP. Also, I know this is very seriously effed up situation, but your response is also really funny, as well as justified. You were meticulous, and I admire it. I would be frickin' screaming over a few cockroaches regularly in my room, let alone my bed, let alone if it caused me asthma, and the sound of my cockroach destruction activities would not be allowing anyone else to sleep, for sure. So your reaction is actually quite measured in the circumstances. Seriously though, your parents are literally legally obligated to make sure that you have sanitary living conditions, and this is not it. If this went to something like Child Protective Services, they would be in deep shizer. I don't know what's wrong with them to be like this, but it's seriously wrong and illegal. OP says to that, I'm just worried that they could get in trouble if I told someone, and then it would be my fault for making them look bad because I have a couple cockroaches in my room. I really just want them to see the problem and get an exterminator. I don't want to get like CPS involved or anything. The problem is my dad has a really weird thing about having strangers in the house, and he doesn't want people looking through his things, even though they could literally care less about your stuff. They want to do their job and kill bugs. They do need to see that it's a problem, yes. The CPS reference is to make it clear how much of a problem it is, and that it's really objectively unacceptable. The The problem is they are shouting about what to do about you and still not doing anything about the cockroaches, so it doesn't seem like they are addressing the problem. You don't have to get sick for your dad's paranoia, and if they still refuse to budge even now, you are going to have to take it to someone else. You don't have to protect them from trouble when they are insisting on doing the thing that would rightfully get them in trouble, which is also harming you. Maybe they deserve to get in trouble. And now, on to the update. My parents are going to get some stuff and traps for my room and the bathrooms to kill the cockroaches. They also said that I should use the bathroom on the other end of the house to take showers, so it's not humid in my bathroom. I'm not completely grounded, but I'm not allowed to go to my friend's house over the break, and I have increased chores for putting the bags on their bed because they said I could have just told them there's a lot of cockroaches, even though I've been doing that. They are disappointed in me for overreacting, so that's why I have to stay home over break. All of my family lives in another state, and they never come here, and we are rarely over there. I don't really want to tell anyone because I'm scared for my parents, because they are otherwise good parents. I haven't even really told my friend that much about the cockroaches, because I know she would think it's really gross. But they are getting stuff to kill them now, so they are at least doing something now. And update 2 for some info, they own the house. It is a freestanding large house in a gated community, and my parents make a ton of money, so unless they have secret debt, then they are financially fine. They sat me down to talk about the issue further. I told my dad about the Advien gel, and he's getting that. He's also going to move the compost pile away from my wall and the AC thing to the far end of the yard and try to get the cockroaches out of the compost, or just otherwise get rid of the compost. He said that we will try this for a month and see how it goes. My mum said after talking, they decided I'm un-semi-grounded and I can go to my friend's house to hang out over the break, but that I need to think about how I escalate situations, and I should have talked to them instead. Then we all hugged, and I asked my dad to stay so I could talk to him. I told him about how it's upsetting to me that we can't call an exterminator because they would know how to fix the cockroaches, and that it's also upsetting because I don't want him to be like grandma and also great-grandma. I also brought up the asthma issues, and that it's actually hurting me physically too. I asked him to get help, because they even have like online therapists now, so he doesn't even have to leave the house because he hates that, and with COVID he's basically not left in over a year. He seemed to be really upset, like sad upset, not mad at me, and just said that it shouldn't be my problem to worry about, and he'll take care of it. So I don't know how that really went, but that's what's happening now. Our next post is titled, "Am I the arsehole for telling my roommate her friend needs to start paying rent or spend less time at our place?" So I, 25 female, share a 2-bedroom apartment with a friend of mine from high school, 26 female. We have lived together for almost a year and had no problems until the last couple of months. She has a friend we will call Mike. He's around our age. At first, they were seeing each other romantically, but have since decided to just be friends. Mike is at our apartment a lot. Like, he stays the night 5 to 6 nights a week usually. He eats my food without asking, and has basically laughed at my polite requests to replace the food he eats. If it was a snack here and there, I wouldn't mind, but I will buy groceries for the week and it's half gone within a couple of days because of him. He sleeps with her in her room, but when they are not sleeping or if she is at work, he is in the living room, loudly playing video games. I work from home, and he is disruptive during my work hours most days. Again, when I've requested him to quiet down, he laughs it off like I'm joking. A few days ago, we had a rare evening where he wasn't at our place. My roommate was watching TV in the living room, and I took the opportunity to bring up my concerns. When I brought up the behavior that bothers me, she apologized, but basically said she can't change who he is. I then said I think if he's going to be practically living at our place and eating my food, he should be contributing to rent and groceries. She essentially said that was unfair, as he is not on our lease. I told her if that was the case, then he needs to spend much less time at our place because he is not a tenant. She also said that he has troubles at home, as he still lives with his parents and is unemployed, and it would hurt their friendship if she asked him to help out or to stop coming around. She thinks that I'm being a huge asshole, and I'm sure she has told him what I said because he has been really snarky ever since the conversation. Am I the asshole for asking that he help pay to essentially live at our place? And now in the comments, not the asshole. That is some big brass ones to hang out and interrupt your workday and eat your groceries. So your roommate basically said that he is an asshole and won't change. I would be tempted to kick her out. There isn't much of a relationship with her to damage. And OP replies, we have been friends for years. It would really suck to do that, but our lease is up in a couple of months, and I think I'm going to look for my own place. In the meantime, get a mini fridge and store all of your food in your room. Also, put a lock on your bedroom door so he can't go snooping. Maybe if he runs out of things to eat, he will leave. Not the asshole. Your roommate has essentially added another roommate to your living situation without your consent. He absolutely should not be eating your food, nor should he be there when she isn't. They are both being completely unreasonable. Why is he there when the roommate isn't home? He needs to go home and get a job. I bet he likes being at the apartment so he doesn't have his parents hounding him to get a job. The guy is a mooch. If I were OP, I would tell the dude to leave if he was there when the roommate wasn't, and if he laughs, I'd call the police. She has a right to tell him to get out when the roommate isn't there, or to tell him if he's going to be there, he must stay in the roommate's room. Not the asshole. No one wants the uninvited extra roomie, except your roommate apparently, but it doesn't seem like he's eating her groceries and disrupting her workday. And OP replies to that, this comment might make me an asshole. It started as soon as they decided to just be friends. She was head over heels for him when they first met. She has been single for a very long time, and I have a feeling she allows this because he is leading her on in some way. It sucks because she sees them as a genuine friend, but I see him as someone who is using her for as long as he can. They'll call folks like that hobosexuals. And now back up to the post, we have an edit. Thank you all so much for the responses. I probably won't be able to go through them all, but I am glad to know I am not crazy for asking these things of him, lol. I appreciate all the suggestions, but when it comes to getting my landlord involved, it is just not worth it for me right now. The situation is now already tense, and even though I think he deserves to get told to F off, I don't want to make my last 2 months living here even more awkward. I'm going to start looking for a place for myself, and if possible, move out a little before our lease is up. I'll pay my last 2 months of rent, but I'm going to try to get out ASAP. Thank you all. And now onto the update. I wasn't expecting to have an update so soon, but things kind of blew up this weekend. On Saturday morning, my roommate and Mike went out for brunch, and I went grocery shopping. I also stopped and bought a few locks for a couple of the cabinets so I could lock away some of my food, and was planning on borrowing a mini fridge that my dad had later this week too. I brought home my groceries and locked a lot of it up, and then went to run a few more errands. When I got back in the afternoon, Mike was sitting on the couch and my roommate was in the shower. I tried to just walk past him to my room, but he stopped me when he said, "So what the F is that about?" pointing towards the kitchen. I told him I was tired of him stealing my food, so I locked it up. We got into a yelling match over this as he doesn't believe him eating my food is stealing. My roommate came out of the bathroom and I was fed up and said, he needs to get the F out of our apartment now. She did not put up a fight and drove him home, not before he called me a few awful names though. When she got back, she tried to walk past me to her room, but I told her we needed to talk. Long story short, she broke down crying after I told her I wasn't renewing the lease. I guess she had a conversation with him at brunch about what I talked to her about, and he blew up at her and told me that I was trying to turn her against him, and she should kick me out. She also confessed to me that she has been giving him money regularly, but didn't tell me how much. They had plans to go out to some show tonight, and she was considering taking him home after, and basically not allowing him to come back. I don't think I mentioned in my original post that he doesn't have a car. I don't know if this is true, or if she said this because of what happened after I got home, but either way, he's gone, and she has agreed to not let him back into our apartment. We talked a lot, and I think after our first conversation, she really started to realize that she was being taken advantage of. I told her I am still going to look for my own place, and she was understanding of that. She agreed that she should not have let him affect our friendship like she did, and even though things are weird right now, I hope we will go back to how things were before, eventually. Thanks again for all the advice on here. It did not end exactly how I planned, but either way, I'm glad that dude is out of my apartment and my life. And now in the comments, quote, he doesn't believe him eating my food is stealing. Ah, the audacity! Yeah, I would really like to know what he thinks it is. Like taking food that's not yours, that you know isn't yours without asking or replacing, not really sure how that's not stealing. He's probably never bought his own food. He lives at home, so food is just a thing that appears in the fridge. I really hope your roommate starts seeing a therapist. The guy wasn't even her boyfriend and she was doing all of that stuff for him. I also recommend having her listen to No Scrubs by TLC. Is she safe? Sounds like Mike is emotionally abusing her. And OP says, I mean, as far as I'm aware, she's staying away from him going forward, and he doesn't exactly have a way to get to her without her picking him up. I think she is. TLC said No Scrubs. She's supporting this man financially, being his personal unpaid chauffeur, and he eats free of charge. I hope she gets off the fence and realizes that she's better off alone than with that man. Our next post is titled, Am I the asshole for refusing to give up my dream wedding dress, though it means my fiance's family will not attend? I'm in a lot of turmoil right now, and it feels like everything is falling apart. I have never had a great relationship with my future mother-in-law. It isn't terrible, but I can sense that she doesn't like me. My fiancé is very close to his family, so there has been some tension. I didn't invite mother-in-law wedding dress shopping because our relationship is awkward, but I thought that I would show her a picture to make her feel included. My dress is a beautiful, flowy beach dress, but not technically a wedding dress and could be ordered in color. I bought it from a small local boutique that we both love. Mother-in-law said that I can't wear the dress because she bought the same one for her 50th birthday, which is 2 weeks after my wedding. Mother-in-law does have the dress though in a mint green color. There is enough detailing that it is still clearly the same dress, and she has the receipt to prove that she got it first. Lavish birthday parties are a thing in our circle, so I know she has invested some serious time and money into this party. I said that I'm still going to wear the dress, despite the fact that I could easily return it with no loss, because I didn't do this out of malice, and I love it. Mother-in-law said if she wears it 2 weeks after I do, everyone is going to think that she is pathetic and copying her son's wife. I said sorry, but not really my problem. Everyone has gone crazy since I said that. His entire side of the family, and the friend's mother-in-law invited, have all backed out of the wedding, so like 15 people, and it will be noticeable. His sisters were supposed to be in the wedding party on his side, but dropped out and have blocked him on everything. His stepdad won't talk to him and says he regrets raising him, and he isn't a real man because a real man would stand up for his mom. His bio dad is even on mother-in-law's side, which doesn't surprise me because they are good friends, but he called us up to shame us the other night. My fiancé is hurting and found out his family had a big beach day and invited everyone but him. He called mother-in-law and they talked, but didn't come to a resolution. She said that if I refuse to do the right thing, the only answer is no one going to her party can go to the wedding. He tried calling sister-in-law and found out she blocked him. He is mad at me now and feels like she had it first. Edit for some info. Mother-in-law has never acted like this before, truly, ever. She is extremely laid back. She doesn't show emotion, she's not really attention-seeking, which is why my fiancé is so confused. At this point, I think the relationship with his sisters and stepdad is beyond repair for now, and I am scared to have them at the wedding. To all the people saying that I should wear it to her birthday, Lamau? But I'm banned, and her ex has already promised to act as a bouncer, not that I'd ever crash it. Final edit, my dress is going back and I apologize to her because I can't understand it, but something deeply hurt her. Mother-in-law and my fiancé are talking for the first time in over a month. She seems exhausted and sad, but maybe there is hope. I really don't think stepfather-in-law or sister-in-laws will ever get over this, but we will see. And now onto the update. So I posted here a few months ago about my mother-in-law wanting to wear the same dress for her 50th as I bought for my wedding. She did have the dress first and receipts to prove it. I got a lot of mixed feedback and ultimately decided to return the dress. It clearly triggered something massive for her. We got married a month ago, and mother-in-law did agree to come after originally refusing. Stepfather-in-law, the man who raised my husband, would not be swayed, and sister-in-laws have him blocked on everything and did not want to hear it. I kind of wondered if she was going to pull something crazy, which isn't really her style, but the whole thing has been crazy. She was very quiet and just hung out with her ex. Mother-in-law and my husband have talked a little, and she just isn't in the mind frame for a relationship right now. She is extremely hurt, and I don't get it, but she obviously needs her space. She barely spoke during the wedding. I actually reached out to stepfather-in-law, which probably wasn't my place, but he said we didn't see her sobbing in his arms. We can't get what we did to her. I know I get a lot of pushback on my decision to return the dress, and people saying it's just a birthday, but it really isn't. Yeah, she might get one every year, but a massive party for her 51st just seems a little odd. I remember my mum's 50th and how much she put into that. It was like a wedding. Mother-in-law invited us to her party after uninviting us and her ex pledging to play security. Ultimately, we decided not to go because of how angry stepfather-in-law and both sister-in-laws are, and how stepfather-in-law admitted he was uncomfortable at the thought of seeing us. It was too much for my husband to see his whole family there. She had her party over the weekend, and yes, I social media snooped a bit. It looked great. She looked really happy. I'm at peace that I didn't get my dream dress. As for us, my husband is going to therapy to heal from the grief. He realized he needs to respect his sisters, and they are serious. The younger one broke down sobbing and said that I did the right thing, but he didn't do anything, and she can't forgive him for just letting their mum get hurt. I still don't totally get it, but it's okay. Mother-in-law doesn't express feelings, so for some reason this was her hill to die on. She doesn't seem too interested in a relationship, so they'll have the occasional text, I guess, and everything's over. I'm happy she had a good party, and I'm looking forward to my husband healing and the rest of our lives. And now in the comments, there is seriously something missing here. I really wish we could get the other side of this story. This is such an extreme reaction for someone you say is normally not dramatic. I am absolutely positive something has been left out. Could be something you are not saying. Is "not my problem" the rudest thing you said? Because I doubt. Or something you don't even know. Maybe there's some sort of trauma here that you were not aware of that this triggered. We always get a biased, one-sided account, but this is on levels I am not used to. Again, I am not accusing you. It is very possible it is something you don't even understand. But something is seriously off here. Nice update, OP. But if anything, this makes me even more confused as to what the hell even happened on that side of the family. It sounds like you did something horrific, like murder her pet or cause her to miscarry or something traumatic as all hell, not threaten to take her dress. Almost makes me wonder if she is terminally ill and you don't know, and this party was supposed to be a huge hurrah because she wouldn't see another one, or something weird. And OP replies, I think it triggered her PTSD. I really hope this was a wake-up call, because there is a lot buried there. That's not really enough. It may have triggered her PTSD, but her sisters and husband all reacted the same way. Something is missing here. And OP replies, she never asks for anything. Her husband and daughters just snapped, I guess, because this was the first thing which really seemed meaningful to her. She's really chill in general, and all three of her kids think that she was the best mom, even if my husband kind of hates her at the moment. They knew the backstory and the PTSD, and they were the ones who saw her sobbing when she never shows any weakness. They all think that I tried to ruin her huge, once-in-a-lifetime milestone. I wish they were open to talking about it and could explain it better. None of them were fans of me to begin with, so I guess it was easy to make me the villain. I think in your original post, some of your commenters shed light as to why your mother-in-law and family are reacting this way. You said, mother-in-law has been bullied and called a tramp and a liar and pathetic her whole life for things totally not her fault. You also mentioned your mother-in-law was worried that if she wore the same dress to her big party 2 weeks later, everyone is going to think that she is pathetic and copying her son's wife. And your response was, "Sorry, but not really my problem." Were you aware of her severe emotional abuse before saying it wasn't your problem? If so, your original response was callous, and honestly, her family is doing the right thing by protecting her. You said they snapped, but if someone in my family was triggered in this manner, then I would absolutely do everything in my power to support them. From your other comments in the original post, it sounds like you understood this as well, but you still seem to be making subtle comments that imply you still don't understand why they're reacting this way. It's not about the dress. It was the potential of your mother-in-law reliving past abuses she and her family were worried about. And that, my friends, is where we wrap that one up. I hope you enjoyed it. I really do hope you enjoyed it, not gonna lie. I personally was waiting for an update on that last story. Apologies if you'd already heard me read it, I think 2 months ago now at this point. It was a while ago since I've read that. But yeah, goddamn, I don't know. I think I'm on the side where I think OP knows what they were doing. I don't like attributing malice where it could be ignorance, but it seems too far-fetched here that it was ignorance. I feel like it's a bit of malice on OP's part, but hey, that's my opinion. My opinion is often wrong. I don't know what's wrong with my spidey senses. They suck sometimes. Anyway, I'm waffling a bit too much. G'day there, Mark Narrations. Hope you guys have a good night, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.